Today, boys, we are going to be trying to predict every single festival character coming in 2024. This year is going to be especially hard because we are no longer following the 17 storyline. Whether they go back and give us characters we missed, or they focus solely on OC characters, or maybe they give something we've actually not even seen in this series. It's going to be an interesting year, and I'm imagining my predictions are going to be awfully wrong, but we're going to try it anyway. We did make this video last year, and you can see my on-screen prediction and then actually what we got, and we weren't that wrong. We got Mayo spot on, we got obviously Barnes spot on. We did put Demon King Medi, but at the time we didn't have Demon King Zeldris actual render, and my prediction for that month was just a Demon King, whether they go towards Melee or whether they go towards Zeldris, because it's not really a Melee or Zeldris, it's just Demon King, so I figured they would just do either one of those two. And then towards the end of the year, it kind of fell off. There was no way for us to predict we were going to get a Ragnarok Hell, who wasn't even mentioned, I believe, in the story mode, or even, you know, have any hints towards her, nor even Festa or Ragnarok. And then with some story delays, unfortunately, Arthur wasn't able to come out, but I guess the wait was kind of worth it. We did end up getting a Elizabeth, but that once again, no one saw coming. And then Melee, of course, we all saw him coming. It's always a new Melee. They always like to introduce a new system into the game at the end of the year, and I thought this was going to be the year for dual characters, but in fact, it was the year of UR characters, which was, once again, so hard to predict, right? So yeah, we got 3 out of 6, which is a pretty good guess, but that was definitely an easier year. Well, this year is going to be especially hard. But boys, before we jump into it, if you guys are new, consider subscribing. Let's jump into who I think is going to be coming throughout the year of 2024. Global Annie, KS Alpha. I mean, this one's already out, but I would say on the Sega Trivia podcast, we was predicting KS Alpha. He's kind of in the same situation as Mael, where we kind of know this guy was kind of overdue now. It was very, very obvious it was going to be KS Alpha, and well, he's kind of already out, so yeah, we kind of missed the mark at this one a little bit, but let's move on towards the JP anniversary coming in May. Okay, so moving on to May, this is going to be the JP anniversary, and honestly, this is where I would say we're going to be getting Percival with the launch of the Four Knights of Apocalypse into Grand Cross, because it really does feel like the perfect time to do it. However, we are still missing one story chapter, the story chapter where we do get Arthur versus Catherine, we get the whole Chaos Saga, and also the final story of 7 Days Sins, but they delayed it with Arthur, so we still are missing one more story chapter, and I believe they mentioned in the dev notes, but they do want to start doing 4 Knights story chapters into Grand Cross, which means we're probably not going to get any 4 Knights characters until we do get, you know, the 4 Knights actual story into Grand Cross, or at least with the launch of it, and that just leads me to believe that for the JP anniversary, well, we're going to get, hopefully, this new story chapter. We're not going to get any 4 Knights character, and instead get a normal 7 Days Sins character, and one that I think is a bit overdue, and was one of the reasons why he was on my last year prediction, who didn't end up coming. And that is going to be a king for May, but more particular, the Yggdrasil Cloth King. I do feel like this is like the only king we can get left in terms of like design wise, like we can get other versions, but in terms of like a standard solo character that deserves one, is definitely the Yggdrasil Cloth King. Animation is gonna be top tier. May even have a combo attack with like Gopher, where you see him a little bit because he does do the, you know, the multiple versions of King. But this was one of the reasons why he was on my last year's actual prediction, and that is because of the hero suit. Currently right now, King is the only character in Grand Cross in terms of the Sin characters that doesn't have a hero suit. This is a universal outfit that every single Sin character has gotten, and King is the only one not to have it. They normally, and I think always, actually add these when we do get a festival character. So I think if we're gonna get a festival Sin, it's gotta be a new actual King, because he's gotta get the outfit. Maybe Netmon was forgotten about it, but I feel like this is a bit more evidence, and kind of the only evidence we got towards a new Sin, hopefully coming towards the game in terms of a new festival character. And yeah, once again, I don't think people complain. It's been over like well over 2 years now since we've gotten a new festival King. King is a popular character. People will love it for the anniversary. So my prediction for the JP anniversary coming in May is going to be a new King. I assume we're going to be getting full URs this year, so if I had to guess, he is going to be a red character. Okay, so next month in June, it's not going to be a festival, but I do believe we probably will see a OC character here, and that's kind of important because that means for September, it kind of opens up a slot for Ragnarok. But let's jump in towards July. And July, notoriously for the past few years now, have always been a Holy War character. This is why last year it was kind of easy to predict we were going to be getting Demon King for this slot. But since most 7 Sins is kind of over and the Holy War, I guess, is kind of done. And I guess this will be, for me personally, the latest we can hopefully see it. And that is the Four Knights Apocalypse. We just spoke about that we can't get it in May because of obviously the last story chapters not being finished. But I think hopefully by then the final chapter's out. We've completed 70 Sins. We can now start to get Four Knights Apocalypse. The anime has also finished. Hopefully it's aired on Netflix by then. But this is the latest I can see a actual Four Knights Apocalypse Festival character. So of course I'm going to be going with Percival. He is hopefully going to kick off Four Knights into Grand Cross, obviously the main character. Although maybe they don't decide to do that because Percival at the start of the series hasn't got that many powers. I mean, he can go forward a few episodes where he does get his awakening. I feel like with such an important and big character, even at his base form, he still deserves a festival character. So for July, I'm guessing we're going to be getting our first Four Knights character with Percival, and hopefully some side characters with Sin, Donnie, and hopefully we can get those characters sprinkled in through the last few months of the year as like standard characters to make our filler characters a lot more special. Right now, it's kind of a bit boring. Gelda is now a filler character. So hopefully we can start to make our banners a bit more spicier rather than just summoning 4 festival characters. So yeah, July, Percival. If I guess color, I'm going to go green just because he's a green character. Why not? Okay, so moving into September. Now, you can make a pattern that September are always unknown characters. And for the last 3 years, they have been with Golfer, Merlin, and also Hell. But I think with the fact that we've now gotten a Ragnarok slot open for Hell, with the fact that we should be getting an OC character or OC storyline, maybe Subnak in June, I'm going to be guessing we're going to be getting a Ragnarok chapter for September, and the character we're going to be getting is going to be Thor. Now, there was a recent leak that spoke about the contents coming, most likely with the Ragnarok chapter coming in March, and they do reveal Thor, they do speak about Odin and Loki, so it is possible that we do get Thor for March. However, with such an important character, and kind of the only like big character left from that actual trailer they showed during like the reveal of Ragnarok, and to not give Thor a festival but then to give Hell one, it doesn't seem right to me. So I feel like if we're ever going to get a Ragnarok festival, the best time to do it is in September, because that's kind of like the worst festival slot of the month, because it's right before the last 2 festivals of the year. Getting Thor fits the unknown category of always doing the unknown for September. And then you get buffed up in obviously October because we get an unknown collaboration. But yeah, if it's not Thor, then I guess it's Loki. But for my gut, I'm going with Thor. Color wise, we're going with blue. And then finally, we have the November and also December festival. Arguably the 2 hypest festivals of the year. Or is it? We did get Elizabeth, and no matter what, whenever you get Elizabeth, she's always disappointing. Not for me personally, just in terms of like fan popularity, she's not among the top. And we've gotten our fair share of Elizabeths in Grand Cross, so it's a little, not a little annoying, but you know, there's always more important and better characters to get, especially with the fact that we got basically 3 Elizabeths throughout the year of 2023. But for me, there are only 2 possibilities. I'm going with my second choice. My first choice, which I don't think will be him, but I guess it could be, is going to be the Commandment Mael, the one with the massive wings, who will be quite an interesting character design-wise. Not only does he look very cool, he could have like 4 different moves, but he will be a commandment character because we'll have a commandment, but also be a goddess too. So I don't know how they're going to do it in terms of like buffing up certain races, but he can be used in goddesses and also demons. That being said, he's probably only going to be used in demons because goddess is low. But I thought I'd give a little mention towards the 4 Commandment Mael. But the character I think we're going to be getting is going to be Lancelot. This will be a hype character to get towards the end of the year. And since we've already hopefully started getting Four Knights characters by this point, Lancelot will be a fitting choice. Now, I will say, we're getting him a bit early. If you watch the Four Knights anime, you know, story-wise, we kind of chill with the Percival group. They go on their little adventure for about like 15 episodes, and Lancelot and especially the Four Knights don't show up towards the end half of the season, which is a massive gap into the story chapters. So I feel like, yeah, they gotta start adding Four Knights characters, especially like Lancelot and other characters earlier to the game before they appear in the story chapters, because it's it will take too long. Like generally, if they actually wait and to add Lancelot until he shows up in the story chapter for Four Knights with our story chapter updates, then it will be probably late next year. So for me, November Festival, Lancelot, it's going to be fitting. I want to say a light character, but who knows if we're going to get light UR characters. And then moving into our December Festival, and this has always been a Meliodas, so we have got a hint of who it's going to be. We can almost tick off the fact that it will be a Meliodas here, but which one it will be, that is the tricky part. Now, it should also be said that every single New Year's, they add something new. Our first festival we got for New Year's was Assault Mode Meliodas, and he introduced the Holy War banners. 1 year later, we got Traitor Meliodas, who introduced the Dark-type characters. And then 1 year later, we did get Purgatory Meliodas, who kind of got introduced with Light Escanor, but he introduced the special border effects, where Escanor dies, he enters that magical state. We got True Magic, who enters that magical state as well. And for New Year's this year, or I guess last year, we did get the new UR edition, the new UR characters. So each year, they always do something new. And I tried predicting that last year, and obviously we were wrong. But I do guess with each year, it does get a bit easier. And that is dual characters. I know I predicted it last year, so it's kind of cheesy for me to predict it this year. But I think if they're going to do it, they'll probably do it this year. Now, before someone comments, we already have dual characters in the game. We don't. We only have Oslord Hawk and Elizabeth and Hawk, and while they technically are dual characters, we haven't seen two humans. And especially for Hawk Elizabeth, it's just Elizabeth standing there while Hawk attacks. So Hawk is basically the main character, where I feel like for a dual character, it will be fitting for, let's say, a Meliodas to have one skill, and then for an Elizabeth to have one skill. Maybe Meliodas attacks while Elizabeth heals. That will be my best way and a new way to kind of add dual characters, and almost a true way of doing it towards the game. So yeah, boys, that is my prediction. Global Annie will be KR Alpha, which, I mean, I'm a bit late to it, but that was easy to predict. And then moving in towards the JP anniversary in May, we're going to be getting the Yagrusil Cloth King. July will hopefully be the introduction of the new 4 Knights Apocalypse characters coming towards the game. And Percival being a festival character would be a perfect time to do it. Moving into September, which I guess might now be the Ragnarok Festival slot. I'm guessing for moving into November, big boys at the end of the year. If 4 Knights is already in the game, then my prediction will be Lancelot. And then moving into December for the second year in a row now, boys, I'm guessing a dual character with Melly and Elizabeth. Or I guess Zeldris, if they want to do the movie character, because Gelda just came out and one of her moves is from the movie. So maybe we're now starting to get the movie characters. But only time will tell. So boys, we will revisit this actual video in a year's time and see how wrong we actually were. But if we can get 3 right, then that's a positive. So boys, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below who you lot are predicting for each month of the year. This one is going to be yeah, interesting. I'm excited, man. Like, not knowing who's coming is actually something fun for once. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.